What's up, everyone? Welcome to Around the ACL. Michelle Thompson here with Trey Ryder and Anthony Ione. We're getting ready for Bag Brawl number 2 happening in Milwaukee this weekend. And it also is Open number 15, getting down to the end. Only one left after this. And we want to talk about that as well. We're going to get into some buy or sell, some other games, and of course, news around the league. Trey, how was your weekend?
It was a good weekend. I enjoyed my back-to-back weekends not traveling. So I did a whole lot of not a whole lot, which was great. So
a whole lot of not a lot.
Yeah.
Father's Day went out with the old man, took him to brunch, made sure he got some good food. But then Saturday it was just did a little shopping, bought some stuff for my wardrobe, which was I never do. So it was a good little relaxing weekend. I'm revved up and ready to go for Milwaukee now.
I've never said the sentence shopping and relaxing in the same sentence. I despise it.
She hates it.
I don't mind it. You go to slow pace. It's like you just kind of use it as an opportunity to kind of just chill and walk around, get some steps in.
I envy you. You know, it's just torture. Anthony, how about you?
I'm A to B on my shopping. Like, I know exactly what I'm going to get, and my footsteps go right to that rack and right out. I'm not trying to trolley around and see what others. I'm in and out. I don't mess around.
That's what I want, and it just never happens. And then I get frustrated because I'm having Trey's experience, and I want your experience.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Weekend was awesome. We just finished off for little man. They do, and I'm not sure how it works in other states, but we do high school level summer basketball. It's pretty short. It's just the month of June, but it's an opportunity for, incoming players into new schools, and maybe just, as players move from, freshman to sophomore to JV, kind of pull everyone together over the summer. So he's an 8th grader going into 9th grade. So that was a big kind of thing for us, just to start getting in front of the high school level coaches and really seeing who's going to be out there from other states. Now he's heavily involved in the the AAU circuit here in Colorado. So when you pull up to a team, and I've learned real quick that the high school level basketball is not even close to the same level of competition as the AAU. When you get to a high school game, you might have 1 or 2 elite level player on a team, and then the rest are just kids that play basketball, or maybe they're on the football team. They're super athletic, but don't really have that level of basketball skill. So it was a little too easy for him. I think all that, even in cornhole, when we say always play up, get your butt kicked quite a few times, and then it's going to pay off one day. It really did right now, because he's been playing up to JV level through the whole summer when we travel. So now he's playing true freshmen who are his size. He's faster than, and he's a small kid. He's faster than him, and he's really just balling out. So inside, I'm like, he didn't really get any better over the summer. He built a ton of confidence, but I still want him to always be challenged and continue, because the ultimate goal is being the best you can at that JV varsity level. So yeah, just a weekend full of basketball.
Is he small for his age?
Oh, small. Yeah, super small. Well, he's actually a little bit bigger at his age, but he's playing in the highest level of basketball. So when you get on the court, he's now the smallest kid. But when you see him in class, he's kind of a little bit past middle, the middle of the class.
Okay.
But
I was gonna say,
so he's just waiting. He's waiting on the growth spurt. He's waiting.
Well, I was gonna say, I need to talk to Rome. He needs to talk to Rome if he's small, because Rome is the smallest in his class and has been. And he hears kids whispering, he looks like a kindergartner and he's in 4th grade, and it's really hurting him. And I'm like, I wish there was another kid that could be like, dude, it's fine, it's cool, because he's struggling.
Yeah, and at his level, all the kids have already started the growth. They have mustaches, they're full hair under the arms, and he's just late. He's just like me. I mean, I was the same height, and then had a 5 or 6 inch growth, when I got to high school. So he could end up still being taller than me, which we're crossing our fingers on, but right now he's just tiny. He's just late. He's really late on the growth.
Yep. Well, we're crossing our fingers as well.
Yes.
All right. Let's get into open number 15. Looks like there's going to be quite a few people there, obviously, because we have the Bag Brawl second part happening at the same time. Trey, who are you looking at for doubles?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you go to an event with an open that's got a broadcast, you kind of expect it to be a pretty stout competition, right? But then I look at this list and yeah, it's going to be pretty stout. So, I mean, you look at the players that are just going to be there for the broadcast, and you actually look at it kind of as a roster. In previous, broadcast weekends, we've kind of had this mix of, or a smaller mix because there's been a bunch of repeat players. Like in this one, it feels like it's more of a larger group. And so because of that, you're getting some really, really good names and some really top-level players out there competing. And even some that didn't make the broadcast are going out there for the last team's broadcasts of the regular season. And you got yourself a pretty stout field. I mean, we're going to see some of the people that we're already planning on seeing on the broadcast court. So it's, your Tony Smith and Mark Richards, your Alex Rawls and Derek Holland, Justin Burton Jr. and Logan Chamberlain. But then you're also getting some top level teams like Gavin Cano and Fisher Hamilton. They're going to be out there for teams, so they're looking to compete inside the open. They're going to be tough to beat. Even someone like a Ryan Smith and a Ryan Wiedenfeld, who is just hanging around that top 10 again this season, a team that they're showing that they can play at the highest level. So I think this one is going to be second to last open of the year. Really it becomes nitty gritty time when you talk about trying to qualify to become a pro next season. You're trying to get in the top of those open standings. You're running out of time, especially if you're an amateur or you're a pro player just looking to requalify. So there's a lot of big names on this one. I mean, I could keep going through even a Steven Bernasette and Philip Lopez Jr. Literally just registered, right? Jake Gore's playing with Hunter Thorne. Jack Gore's playing with Sammy Soto. So I was looking through this list of all of these top level, really, really strong doubles teams, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of playing with a unique partner. This is very much, I'm going in here. It's business time. We're at the second half of the pro season. I don't even care if this open isn't under the pro umbrella right now. I am looking to win when I can because I'm running out of time. And I'm getting that from a lot of these different registrations that people feel like it's time to put up or shut up and get a good win, because as we get closer to Worlds, everybody knows there's a lot of money on the line at Worlds, right? That's an opportunity to really make or break when it comes to those big level payouts and really determining how good of a season that you're going to have. So even seeing Matt and Brett Guy on here, right, making the trip because the Colonels are going to be playing on television, so both of those players are going to be competing. It's definitely going to be a stout field, and it's going to be like, if you win this open, it's going to be very similar to winning a pro bracket. It won't be identical, it won't be as difficult, but at the same time, there's a lot of really great players in this field.
Did Trey take all of yours, Anthony, or you got someone else to talk about in doubles?
Yeah, we could talk about some other, but I think you made a good point at the beginning is when you pair that ESPN broadcast over the same weekend, you're going to just have to deal with these teams that are at the top of the game right now. You mentioned Alex Rawls and Derek Holland. They're in both Final Fours. So they're in both the national and shootout format. Number 2 in the world have a chance of taking over the number 1 position. So that open field is going to have to deal with teams like that, as well as a Tanner Halbert and a Jacob Trzynski. Tanner Halbert showing up twice actually could have been a third. This doubles team was in the king seat of the shootout, ended up losing that one. We almost saw them twice in doubles as well. So also let's throw out a Braden Wilson and AJ Sims are going to be in the building because they are in the shootout Final Four as well. We've seen what Braden Wilson can do this season in singles, but now we're going to get to see AJ Sims back into the mix, and we know how good he is. We'll talk a little bit more about these teams in the rest of the show because we're going to get into some depth on the ESPN broadcast. But some of the other ones that look good, and Adam Hissner teaming up with a Nico Morellis, if my memory serves me correctly, they teamed up last season in one of these opens as well. We've got this Team Titan thing. Nico Morellis, when is this guy going to finally take down a win, take home some hardware? I mean, he's always right there in the mix, either in the championship match or feeding into that coming out of the loser's side of the bracket. So coming in with a guy like Adam Hissner, who's playing some of his best bags that he ever has in his career right now. I really like the way that those guys are looking, and they're going to be throwing similar bags with that dart bag. So they're going to be very familiar there. Ryan Wiedenfield, Ryan Smith, anytime you see these guys in the field, you got to look out. They have absolutely been killing it in the doubles format. And then kind of looking at some of the other ones, you mentioned Steven Bernasette and Philip Lopez. It is insane how many times we haven't seen them on a broadcast yet, but maybe those not following deeper, they should be on a broadcast already. I think that's been twice. They've been double dipped in the final to get to TV, and it's really Steven Bernasette that's really standing out this season for me. And maybe we'll talk about him a little bit, Meesh, when we get into singles. And Philip Lopez seems to do really well all the way to the championship match, and then something just happens. We saw it when he was going up against Jamie Graham and Frank Modelin in that final. Philip Lopez fell apart, and then it happened again here in this last one. So, but they're still a tough team to deal with. You mentioned the guys kind of going down the list. In my second category, I've kind of been talking about teams I think that could come out and win this, right? These are going to be your favorites. This next category for me are teams that I wouldn't be surprised if they won, and I would love to see them show up in a final. Maybe they don't get through the bracket, but they're going to be deep into these brackets. And maybe a team like Ethan Walker and David Moores. I think David Moores, looking at some of his stats, I've been having to be able to break his games down and watch every single pitch, but I see some stats from this guy, and I'm like, yo, good job, David Moores. I mean, he's a guy that's been around forever. He might even be Trey, does he go back to the original pro crew, the original 16?
I don't think so. No.
Okay,
no, but
well, he's been around.
He's really close.
Yeah, he's really close. So I like them teaming up. We know how good Ethan Walker is. We saw Quinn Reeves and what Tony Forbes could do, right? Get on a broadcast, go through two of the best teams in the league right now. He's coming in with Jaden Ellis this time. Jaden Ellis is the advanced world champ. We know that he is pro caliber. Hey, don't be surprised if we see Quinn Reeves do something crazy again, but this time with Jaden Ellis. Ellis is an unbelievable player. He's a top 50 guy if you drop in the league right now. Would love to see Dean Norton and Corey Gilbert continue what they've been doing. They're, they did fall, and last time I was on the show, I was like, they're going to beat me up a little bit later, but they were top 10, and I was like, yeah, that's not going to stay that way very long. They have fallen to 15. Can they maintain 15, or did they fall into the 20s? But here they are in the open field. I really like what they're doing this season. Can they make another deep run? The other side of that partnership, Tony Forbes, Spencer Fabina are going to be teaming up with this one. We know that they could come out and win the whole thing. Would shock a lot of people that might not know them nationally, but we know how good they are. Carson Getty and Noah Almanza, another team that could do really well together. And then the ones that I'm kind of just looking at, maybe in the final category. Hey, we got Pat Sem and Kaylee Hunter showing up in a Final Four in the shootout. They're obviously going to be there already. Let's jump into the open. They seem to be throwing really well. Do I expect them to win it? No, but maybe a deep run, and they could ruin some of these other big players' runs. Don't be surprised if they take down a top 10 team. Maybe not coming out of the bracket, but making it deep. Rosie Streaker and Samantha Finley are always awesome. I really like Gage Landis and this young kid, Hayden Gonzalez. We got to see him a little bit on the USAC broadcast. He's a young stud as well. Those two guys can do some damage. And then Ryan Hart, who's throwing out of his mind right now, teaming up with an OG and Terry Mathis. That could be a fun one as well, and maybe surprise a lot of people and beat some big teams, Meesh.
Sounds good. How about singles, Trey?
Yeah, a lot of the same players that I kind of rattled off in doubles I'm probably looking at for singles here. But, I mean, I kind of want to, also bring together and add some context here that I don't know how much everybody appreciates how tight of a race we do have for an all-time title list. And this is going to get crazy as we go over these next few years and how this just jumps back and forth, right? I mean, this weekend, we could have anything from Matt Guy extending his lead by winning an Open to Tony Smith taking sole possession of first place to Trey Birchfield taking sole possession of first place. Like, there are so many different angles that we could talk about. And as we go into these weekends, like, there's legitimately 4 people all within one title of that all-time title race. Now, I don't think it's fair to necessarily paint this as a race to become the GOAT, right? Like Matt Guy deserves that title for an extended period of time until someone truly takes it from him. But still being the person that is the all-time leader in titles, that's still a really cool accolade to have, and one that I think is super important. So all I'll say there is that, those are always going to be people anytime they're registered for an event. That's Jamie Graham, Matt Guy, Mark Richards, and Trey Birchfield, that anytime they're registered for an event, singles, doubles, whatever, I got my eye on them because they have that little added extra expectation of them possibly being able to fight for a title.
Yeah, for sure. Anthony, singles.
Trey, that's a good call. I wasn't really taking into account ACL titles when we're talking about the Open. First of all, do you see Birchfield in the Open registration? Is he a late entry maybe? Because that's significant. And the timing of it, help me with the timing. The Open's going to come after the broadcast, right? Or is it in the mix as well?
He's not registered as of now. That doesn't mean he doesn't get registered.
Okay.
For doubles, no. Doubles will happen, prior to the broadcast on Saturday. But by then, the only thing we'll have left is national singles. So actually, so national singles, that's probably why, because I don't think nobody from the national singles, because it starts so early, can actually compete in the Open doubles just because of scheduling, but they can compete in Open singles the next day. So it may be that some of those people, those four, so Trader, Birchfield, Rawls, and Bubenheim aren't playing in doubles, but they may play in singles on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good point. We may get on the broadcast and, instead of talking about tying Matt Guy, maybe we're talking about taking Matt Guy's title away, because there's a lot of opportunities, like you were saying. Outside of the obvious for me, Alex Rawls, obviously, Mark Richards, Tony Smith, Gavin Cano, Matt Guy's always in the mix. If we kind of go down and say who can win this from a singles perspective, I really like how Logan Chamberlain is looking right now in singles, obviously outplaying his performance from last season. Arguably the A player now in an AA team, with JBJ, Logan Chamberlain killing it right now. I'd like to see him come out and really make a deep run, along with Ryan Wiedenfeld. I think Ryan Wiedenfeld, he kind of reminds me of Eric Davis a little bit. I think this guy's a top 3-5 singles player. But when he gets alone in the game, he has every shot that there is in the game. He likes to do amazing things. I think maybe he's a little bit, he's not
bored.
Very conservative. He gets bored, right? Yeah, he just does crazy things. And it's like, and I think that's why he does so well in doubles with Ryan Smith, is you got Ryan on the other side of the board, and they do talk a lot. And Ryan's like, give me this shot instead. And it really does show that they can be successful. But it is about time for Ryan Wiedenfeld to come out and take down a big singles event like this one. Stephen Bernasett, I was talking about already. Would love to see him come out and win this thing. Derek Holland as well, throwing, if you look at stats specifically, there's very few people outrunning Bags than Derek Holland on the board right now. He has an amazing airmail, we know. Watch this guy come out, possibly take down an Open singles. That would be awesome to see as well. And then if we go a little bit further, some of those dark horses, this Espen Jackson kid, getting to see what he did. I think it was one of the big tournaments this past week, couple weekends ago, went through like a Cheyenne Bubenheim, Kyle Malone in the field finishing behind him. This young kid is very, very talented. He could come out and win it along with Quinn Reeves, Tony Forbes, and how about Ryan Hart also in a position to come out and win it unexpectedly.
Yeah. And speaking of Espen, he did win the Mississippi State Championship. I think that's maybe what you're referring to in singles and doubles. So, a lot of people in the field there that I would have picked over that. So good job for him. Going into more news around the league, Florida State Championship was Alex Rawls for both singles and doubles with Blaine Rozier. Nebraska State Championship, Ryan Wiedenfeld did get singles and doubles there, as you were talking about him. He did doubles with Jesse Todd, who I'm not familiar with. Kansas State Championship, Alex Hicks took singles, and Zachary Engelken and Trip Baker took doubles. Louisiana State was Cannon Hatcher for singles, and Ian Cripps and Kobe Costanza for doubles. And for Tennessee, singles was Alec Ryan, and doubles Gary Ferguson and Bryce Jefferson. Any quick thoughts on any of that before we move on to Bag Brawl? I know, Anthony, you got something?
Yeah,
Go
ahead, Trey.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say
two quick things, and I'll be done. One, Alex Rawls is getting hot at the wrong time for everybody else, and he is looking good. Second thought is, what do we have to do? And Anthony, how do we get Kansas Alex Hicks
Yeah.
to just at a pro tournament? Just
Right?
take the Kansas Alex Hicks and put him in a pro tournament and he wins. Just what do we got to do, Anthony? What do we have to do?
We're gonna make it look like Kansas, I guess.
Yeah, make it look like, to your point, he threw a 10-4-8 over 87 rounds. He absolutely slayed it in that tournament. And this lineup actually shows, we talk about talent in states, right? I mean, if you look at Florida compared to the rest of the list, Alex Rawls, it is unbelievable when you look at the lineups in those state rosters and those brackets. What a guy like Alex Rawls had to go through just to win this freaking state tournament. His first game out of the gate. Imagine you show up to a state tournament, your first game is Fisher Hamilton. Like, that's your first game. So he had to get through that one. He was down 11-2, ends up winning that one. Had to go through his brother twice to end up winning it. But if you look at the rest of the field, I just opened it up real quick. You've got, we mentioned Fisher, we mentioned Alan Rawls. You got Blaine Rozier out there, Cheyenne Bubenheim, Kyle Malone in the field, Ethan Walker now out of Florida. Zach Scheibner, who's throwing unbelievable bags right now. This guy is really, really good. Let's throw Chris Kingsbury in the mix. Justin Rule, who's statistically one of the best in the league right now. This guy's PPR is unbelievable. We saw what he did at the last event too. The ability to roll, the ability to do all these things. It's unbelievable to me. He hasn't won a bracket yet. Then you'll just throw in Rosie Streaker, Dalton McClem. You're like, oh, he's washed, right? Nah, Dalton McClem took down Ethan Walker in that state tournament and Kyle Malone twice. That is Dalton McClem right now. And then you've got Sarah Cassidy, Miranda Coy. That state is stacked, Meesh.
It's definitely a difficult state, I will say that. So good job for Alex Rawls. All right, getting into the bag brawl where we will see more of him. So our national doubles is going to be Smith Richards versus Burton Jr. and Chamberlain, and Halbert Trzynski versus Holland and Rawls. Trey, what are your thoughts there for national doubles?
Ooh, national doubles, man. Yes. I am so jealous that I am not calling this. There's two broadcasts I am especially jealous that I am not calling. One of them is the national singles final, which we talked about last week, which is the one with Cheyenne, Ryan Trader, Alex Rawls, and Trey Birchfield. I am jealous of that. On the double side, I am jealous of this one. In both of them, I am jealous because of the individual storylines. We already talked about Cheyenne Bubenheim and what she's got the opportunity to accomplish. It's worth saying again. She's got a chance to become the first ever woman to win a pro singles event. That is legendary status right there.
Yes.
So we've got to put that out there and remind everybody. But getting back to this national doubles, okay, you have Tony Smith, okay? He fights throughout the entire season against Mark Richards, second half of the season last year, to become the ACL MVP. And although Mark was really hot at the end of the year and actually beats Tony head-to-head at the final chase last year, Tony Smith is able to edge him out to become MVP. And the reason that Tony Smith won MVP, and sorry, anybody can argue this all they want, but the reason that Tony Smith won MVP is because his consistency in doubles was unbelievable. They made it to 3 straight broadcasts. They won one. But who is they? None other than Tony Smith and Jacob Trzynski. So you could say, whether or not how much you want to go this far, Jacob Trzynski absolutely played a part in Tony Smith winning MVP this year. How large of a role that you want to give him, that's up to everybody else to judge on their individual basis. But Trzynski had a hand, somewhat of a hand, in Tony Smith winning MVP. Then what happens in the offseason? Tony Smith goes, see ya. Hello, Mark Richards. Let's play together, buddy. And so now this super team forms. They go out. They say, oh, yeah, Trzynski, go kick rocks. Go play with Tanner Halbert, right? You can go play with Tanner and do whatever you want to do, right? What did Tony Smith and Mark Richards do? They come out and win a national in doubles. The super team is formed. Here's the next coming of Jamie Graham and Matt Guy all over again, right? So I set all that up to say, right, you have Smith and Richards now on a broadcast, but who's on the other side of that bracket? None other than Jacob Trzynski and Tanner Halbert. And to me, that is so juicy of a storyline. I mean, imagine what's going to be going through the head of Jacob Trzynski if he's able to get to the finals and he gets to play Mark Richards and Tony Smith in that finals. I mean, you guys know Trzynski. Like, I can't even imagine what is going through the head of Trzynski if he's able to accomplish that, because he's just going to be foaming at the mouth at that opportunity to be able to do that and win. And you know what? I hope he throws against Tony if it happens. Like, I just live for that stuff. So I feel bad. I just did all that without even talking about the possible new number one team in the world and Alex Rawls and Derek Holland. Like, they're probably your new number one team in the world, guys. Like, they made both broadcasts. They're second place right now. They're only a few points behind Ellis and Hart. Like, they win one game in either broadcast, and they're going to be number one. So your new number one team, ladies and gentlemen, is probably Alex Rawls and Derek Holland coming out of the weekend. I didn't talk anything about them, and I didn't talk about Justin Burton Jr. and Logan Chamberlain, but it's all about the storyline for me, and that's why I'm jealous, and that's why I'm excited for this broadcast.
All right, makes sense. Anthony, what do you think?
Hey, Trey, maybe it's time to have an unprecedented 3-man commentary. Come on. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. All right. So yeah, that whole bit about Trzynski and Smith, I love it. And there's a whole nother mindset piece of this, and it goes to the JBJ and the Chamberlain side. So imagine being JBJ and Logan Chamberlain, and all last season you're having to deal with Smith and Trzynski and Richards Lopez, and then all of a sudden your worst nightmare comes to play, and you go, okay, wait, you're going to take the 2A players from those teams and you're going to put them together, and now they have to deal with them here in the first round of this national event. So if we go back to, I think it was Natty 2 of last season, JBJ had to play against Smith and Trzynski, and they lost that one 23-0. And then it ultimately was Richards and Smith that went on to win. So now you take the two best players together, and that's what they have to deal with in this first round. But just kind of looking at the run, if we look at Smith and Richards versus Burton Jr. Chamberlain, that's going to be one of our matches in the national. Both teams looked really good in the brackets to get this far. Smith and Richards undefeated, 6-0. No one scored more than 10 points. JBJ and Chamberlain's run was much more difficult, but the teams they had to beat was unbelievable. So I think both teams are going to be coming in really, really hot. If we get down to the stats, JBJ and Chamberlain are winning in every single stat category: PPR, DPR, 4-bagger percent, winning percent. So on paper, they're winning in every single stat category. And Smith and Richards, I don't know how you explain it, Trey, but it's a little up and down for me. It's a little bit weird, Yeah. So it's like they kill it, and then you just do stuff you don't even lose to teams that you don't expect them to lose to. So it just depends on what Smith and Richards we're going to get. They don't show up to a broadcast and not kill it. So I think that they're going to come in and give a heck of a game. So that's going to be a good one in that game one. What do you got? You got something?
I was going to say, like, we say that, but I think still so much depends on the mental stability of Tony Smith when he gets up to that court.
Yes.
I mean, we're forgetting they were down 10-0 against Gavin Cano and Fisher Hamilton. And you remember Fisher Hamilton foot fouled.
Yep.
And then everybody in the building went, whoa, what did they just call a foot foul on Fisher Hamilton? Yeah, sure enough, they did. And then Smith and Richards just ran away with it. It was like a switch flicked. If that foot foul doesn't happen, are we talking about a team that has more downs than ups rather than the other way around? So I'm not sold yet that they're going to come out to that broadcast court and they're going to deliver. Like, I almost think Justin Burton Jr. and Logan Chamberlain are the safer bet when they get on that broadcast court. I know what I'm going to get out of those two. I could get a better Smith and Richards, but I think I could get a Tony Smith that throws his first bag off the back of the board and he's mentally gone and can't get it back together.
Yeah, and I think that's where the Mark Richards factor comes in that team. I think Mark Richards is the one that can just rally all that back together. I think there's a respect level between Tony Smith for Mark Richards, and he has the ability, I think, to get Tony right back in line. So I think that's going to be a big part of it. The other matchup, we got two more top 10 teams going head-to-head, Halbert Trzynski and Holland and Rawls. Coincidentally, all 4 baggers out of the same rookie class of 2021. So here we have all these, and they were fighting each other to get to that point. And even if we go back, there's some history when we go back to the World Championships in the advanced division. There's familiarity there. You have Halbert, who lined up against Alex Rawls in the Final Four of the Advanced World Championship. Rawls got the better of Halbert in that one. So I think that the way that they choose arms, they don't care about opponents. So they're going to go inside, outside arm. If that holds true, I think we get Rawls standing next to Halbert again in that doubles final. And Rawls, who's had the better of Halbert historically, does that come into play? We'll have to see how that plays out. Trey, the stats on these teams I don't think you could get any closer. Check this out. This is double stats as a team. Halbert, Trzynski are throwing a 9.59 on the season. Holland and Rawls are throwing a 9.59 on the season. They both are throwing 34% four-baggers. Holland and Rawls have one more win. So you have a 75% and a 74% win percentage, and their DPR is off by 9/10. So we're talking about two teams that are coming in so close statistically. It's going to come down to Halbert's airmail. That's got to be huge. It has got to be on for that partnership. Trzynski has more in his bag, so if his roll is off, he can go to his airmail. If his airmail's off, he'll go to his roll. And then Holland and Rawls just have to keep doing what they're doing. They do this, and I think I'm seeing a trend here, Trey. Let me throw this one at you. We're seeing teams that have a partnership made up of two sides of the game. Holland runs bags, Rawls plays the speed control. We see that with Halbert Trzynski. Trzynski has the ability to play the speed control game. Halbert is going to be running bags. And we see that in a couple other partnerships as well. We're going to see that with Wilson Sims. Wilson has the ability to play that really dirty game. Sims is going to be running bags. There might be something to partnerships that come to the table that have both dynamics of the game just from a consistency standpoint. If the boards are playing slow, it might play in the factor of one of them. So it has that. If the boards are playing fast, it might play into the factor of the other player. And then if the conditions are good for both, then you get both coming in. So just a thought on that, where I'm seeing kind of a trend within some of the doubles teams.
Right. We do also have shootout doubles. That's going to be Hunter and Sem versus Wilson and Sims, and Holland Rawls versus Herrera Jones. Trey, what do you think?
Yeah, Meesh, it's okay. I have less thoughts here, so I won't take all of our time here. This one, I think when Derek Holland and Alex Rawls look at this and go, I have to win across one of these two broadcasts one game in order to become the new number one team in the world. And I look at national doubles and I go, okay, that's not going to be there. That's going to be pretty difficult. But I look at shootout doubles and I got to play Isidro Herrera and Jalen Jones. I'll probably take those odds, right? I think. And then I look at the other side. I got Kaylee Hunter, Pat Sem versus Braden Wilson and AJ Sims. Again, I think Derek Holland and Alex Rawls got to really feel like this is their broadcast to lose. Not in national doubles, but I think Holland and Rawls are going to feel a lot better about this matchup and how this looks for them. I think they're the heavy favorite in this head-to-head here, but it would be without, I would be selling ourselves short if I didn't lay out what Kaylee Hunter has the opportunity to do, and that is become the third ever woman to win a pro doubles event, right? It doesn't feel like the same level of history as Cheyenne because she's done it before and she's done the single and she's going for the singles. But we still need to appreciate the fact that what Kaylee Hunter is about to do is still something that is, glass ceiling shattering in that regard. So I think Kaylee Hunter has a really good opportunity with Pat Sem. Pat Sem will be nasty on the airmails. Kaylee Hunter's got to be down the center, prevent some scoring, and let Pat Sem hit some airmails.
Anthony, what do you think?
Yeah, we know that with the shootout format, this is where it gets a little bit fun, right? You just get teams in there that you don't expect to see. I mean, this year alone, we had Quinn Reeves and Tony Forbes making it to this point. Vincent Frisch and Austin Cameron, Scheibner and Landis. So here's where you have a couple more teams making it this deep where you're like, okay, I mean, I didn't see that coming, but congratulations between, Hunter and Sem and Herrera and Jones. Wouldn't have guessed it, but this is the shootout format. Like you were saying, I agree on some of those points. Wilson Sims, I think, are going to be a tough team to beat. I think that not only skill on the boards, there's just this chemistry between these two guys. Age-wise, completely off the map. not even close. Style of game, not even close. But there's some level of just like respect, and you see the Ganter or the way that they go back and forth is really fun to watch. I think they're going to be fun on the broadcast. Kaylee's going to be a down the middle player, and I think that works nice into a shootout format. Most people are not trying to come out and suffocate the hole in a shootout format. That works really well for a Kaylee Hunter. Now, if Braden Wilson is able to come out and play the game that he can, and I know he's going to come out running bags first, but if he just throws 1 or 2 blocks, that's where it's going to shift, where Kaylee Hunter now has to make decisions on step outs, air mails, push throughs, and I think that'll be the difference in the game. Pat Sem just has this unique ability to get around blocks with the slick side of his bag. I think that works really well for him, and that's how he's going to navigate through the dirty game. The Holland Rawls and Herrera Jones, obviously a clear favorite in this one. Herrera is just going to have to do what he does and come out and throw 20 bags in the hole. That's what he is. He's a machine. This guy is going to put all 20 in the hole. It's going to come down to Jalen Jones in that match. I know we're going to get an elite level Cedro. What does Jones bring to that matchup? He's going to have to hang with either Rawls or Holland for them to be successful. So we'll see how it plays out, Meesh.
Absolutely. Time for buy or sell. I'll read you some lines. You let me know if you're going to buy it or sell it. First one's going on with Kaylee Hunter. Kaylee Hunter will finish second in women's standings this season. Trey.
Yeah, I'm going to sell this one. I think she could be third or fourth. But when I look at this, I think Cheyenne is far and away number 1 right now. And how, if this shakes out exactly how the standings are, I'm not sure. But like in my mind of like who's our number 1 right now, who's number 2, number 3, like I still think Miranda Coy is number 2 right now, and I think Sarah Cassidy is borderline trying to bump Miranda Coy out of that spot. And then Kaylee Hunter is right there as well. Overall, I'm kind of playing the odds to say Coy or Cassidy maybe it takes that spot instead. So for now, I'm going to sell.
Anthony?
I got to agree. I got to sell. And we were talking a little bit about the Florida State Championships earlier. There was the Women's State Championship. Cheyenne was in the field. Who was holding up the number 1 finger, guys? Sarah Cassidy was holding up the number 1 finger. I really like how Sarah looks right now. And then, of course, Miranda Coy throwing some of her best cornhole right now. So I'm going to sell.
At least 2 more colleges will start offering cornhole scholarships next year.
Well, facts. There's a few colleges already. There's already doing it. Buy it. I think I don't know if Michelle meant to give me a layup where I could talk about ACL College a little bit.
I mean,
but
I thought you might like it.
So, we're meeting now. We're setting up intercollegiate play, and there'll be a full ACL College schedule in the fall with colleges competing against one another, and we'll have kind of some level of standings to publish in the fall when it comes to different colleges competing across the country. So the college game is going to continue to blossom. So Anthony's going to buy it as well, because I won't let him sell it, because I won't let him talk negative about ACL College.
Not going to happen, but I will take this opportunity to send a shout out to Jackson Remick, who was a 5-star D1 recruit who just went out to the Italian Open. When I used to play Meesh, he was out of my club here in Colorado. I can't really say that anymore. But he took down singles and doubles alongside Cooper Bingham. Really proud of Cooper Bingham. Cooper, if you look at Jackson Remick and Gavin Hammond, they were the 2 young kids coming out of Colorado that slayed it. Their very good friend, Cooper Bingham. You couldn't ask for a better friend. This guy celebrates them so much. Even though he hasn't had the same level of success, he just took down that Italian Open with Remick. So congrats to those guys.
Very cool. Mark Richards will win a pro singles title before the end of the season.
We're running out of time. I'm going to sell it. And I hate doing that because I'm a Mark Richards guy. I like Mark a lot, but I don't like what I see. It's not as if he's, I look at the statistics and the statistics are telling me a different story than what I'm seeing on the boards and blah, blah, blah. I'm not seeing any of it. I don't know what has happened. He didn't really have a sophomore slump. So is this kind of the junior slump, I guess? It's just not the level of consistency. And even at the beginning of this season, we were seeing him at this really high level. So it is a little bit confusing to me. I'm thinking this is a temporary dip and we'll see some elevation again. But right now, the Mark Richards that I'm seeing is not going to get a singles title.
Anthony?
It's oddly familiar to me with our discussion on Matt Guy, but in the reverse. Like if you asked me the same question with Matt Guy, I would sell it. Even though this guy, highest PPR in the entire world. No one's putting more, but something's going on in the decision-making in the game. Same thing with Mark Richards. He still has the ability to come out and win it, but it's the other side of the game. It's almost like, is he going too dirty? Is he trying to clog up the hole too much? Like, I don't know what's going on there, but I have to sell.
Oh, he froze.
We lost him.
All right. Well,
You got me?
we're going to move. Oh, there we go. You're back.
now. We got you.
I said
Okay.
it's the Matt Guy effect in the opposite.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is. AJ Sims will get his first title this season.
Yeah, this is tough. Is he going to win shootout doubles? Win something this year? I'm going to give you a weird buy. I'm going to buy it. But the problem is, I think it's because the pro committee is going to turn his 2019 advanced doubles title into an actual recognized title. So he's going to he's going to get one from back in the day that's going to be not reinstated, but officially marked as a title.
Okay,
So
interesting.
That was a big win.
That was a big win, and just one that hadn't been recognized by the title books, or the record books. So I think he's gonna get one, but not earn it this year.
What a weird buy or sell. Okay, Anthony.
Yes.
I don't know.
guess
I'm gonna
you're buying?
I'm gonna give him a little bit more respect than a default. Like let's go back and give him away. Hey, AJ Sims is throwing amazing bags right now, but the key is he's got this kid, Braden Wilson, on the other side in the shootout format. And we've seen what Braden Wilson can do. He's killing it in all formats. I'm going to buy.
All right.
So you think he wins shootout doubles then this weekend?
Let's go. I'm going for it.
Okay. Well, then he would have two.
Is it too early for I think I just gave away my hot take. Sorry.
Yeah,
guys.
your hot take's early. It's okay. If Josh Holland wins the title this weekend, he'll make the finals at national number 4. Like, will this be the momentum he needs?
No, sell it. I have zero confidence in consistency when it comes to Josh Holland. I'm not saying Josh Holland can't do it. I'm just saying I have zero confidence in any level of consistency. So whatever he does today has nothing to do with what he does tomorrow. So he could throw a perfect game this weekend. He could throw a 7-1 PPR, and I have no idea which one to expect. So I am selling it for a lack of confidence.
Anthony?
Yeah, same thing. Got to sell.
Poor Josh. All right. Unlike his dad, who's very consistent on the other side of that, by the way. All right, we got some game time. We're going to start with 4-bagger and floor bagger, which is our top moment and low moment of the week. Trey, what's your 4-bagger?
4-bagger, one, it was Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. That was, I just wanted to recognize that. But also the Celtics. Another Boston championship out there. How about them Celtics? And I know the Nuggets couldn't be back there, but back-to-back years, Anthony. But the Celtics just, it's like the least exciting, easiest win in the history of championship. I mean, just like strolled through, like nothing exciting. It was glorious being a Boston sports fan watching these Celtics. It's like they never gave me any headache, any heartburn. It was amazing.
Yeah, what is that? Because you're a Patriots fan too, aren't you?
Yes.
What is that connection? Did you used to live a little more?
Yeah, I was born. You can't tell by my dad's accent. I was.
Yeah, what do you mean?
I
got you.
I was a diehard Boston sports fan. So
Gotcha.
I got a little bit of a soft spot for the Charlotte teams, but they're so bad that it's like,
You're not jumping ship. I got you.
Not jumping ship.
Anthony, 4-bagger.
Okay, so big 4-bagger for me. My kid ended up winning that championship this weekend. It was a 7-game tournament. He ended up getting the win. That was the 4-bagger. Now the 4-bagger is in the same moment.
Okay.
So I watch entire tournaments through my phone because this kid, he wants me to get clips, just like we're doing in cornhole. We're all out there getting clips and feeds, but in order to pull it off in basketball, because there's so much movement, I'm watching the entire game through the phone. It sucks. So we had a moment in the game where there was a buzzer beater opportunity and he gets the ball with 5 seconds left. And I left my phone for a minute to check the clock and I'm counting the clock down for him so he could focus on whatever he was going to do. So I'm yelling 5, 4. Well, at 1, he goes all the way out to the corner. Actually, it's more of a wing 3-pointer right on. It was deep. It was like, he ended up landing out of bounds when it was all said and done, but he had to kind of fade far away. By the time I realized I was watching the game with my own eyes and not the phone, I missed the clip, Meesh. So I come across as fast as I'm like, oh shit. And I
No
missed
highlight.
that. Yeah. And then I come back and I get at the end, I missed everything that was going on over here. It was like he's fading right and out of bounds, falling out, launches this buzzer beater up, hits the 3, and I missed everything going on the release. So
Oops.
there's my floor bagger.
Hashtag dad fail.
But I got the other 97 clips. I missed the one.
Yeah,
that
well,
mattered.
yeah, but that was the one. All right, Trey, floor bagger.
Floor bagger, late sports broadcast times. Whether it's cornhole, whether it's whatever. You West Coast people
I
don't
know
even
we don't have this
understand.
problem.
So like 8:30 tip off for a NBA Finals on a Monday night.
Pass.
Grow up.
Pass. It's not happening for me either. I can't even make it through the 5:30 football games because they end at like 9. I'm out. I can't make it to the end. All right, Trey, you got to send it or board it for us.
Yeah, real quick. My wife just booked one when I'm going to Valley Forge, but solo vacations.
Ooh.
Oh.
Going on a vacation somewhere
Board it.
by yourself.
No.
I respect it. I was like, yeah, go for it. Do whatever you want to do. like go have fun. But
Not for me.
I kind of liked it.
Board it.
Board it.
Board it.
Yeah, I talk too much. Who am I going to talk to?
No, thank you.
Yeah, she doesn't like talking to people, so she's just doing her own thing. It's actually perfect for her.
I would start annoying everybody around me just from sheer boredom. All right, would you rather, Trey?
This is perfect. I didn't even know this happened with Anthony's son. Would you rather hit the game-winning shot at the buzzer beater, whether it's cornhole, basketball, whatever, or be the MVP of the team?
Oh, like. Okay.
Oh, that one's easy for me. Yeah, MVP for sure.
Oh, I'm taking the buzzer beater. I am absolutely taking the buzzer beater. Yes,
I am too, because that means that I can handle pressure, and I don't know if that's actually true of me. So I think I'm going that way as well. I don't know if that's when I perform best, but yeah. So I like it. All right, hot take. What you got, Trey?
All right, hot take is I am ready for my dream scenario. I'm setting it up. It's Trzynski versus Smith in the finals, and Trzynski wins. And we get to see a very, very intense final.
That'd be fun. That would be fun.
Be a ton of fun to watch. And so we'll see if it happens.
Anthony, did you already give yours away earlier?
I did, but that I like that because that means our OG. We have a OOG and Tanner Halbert getting a win. Who doesn't have? You think a guy that's been around since 2018 would have a doubles title by now? He doesn't have one of those, so that would be awesome. Yes, I gave it away a little bit earlier, but yeah, my hot take is going to be that Wilson and Sims win shootout doubles. I feel pretty good about that one too. Hey, and you know what's going to happen? AJ Sims is going to throw 20 bags in a row.
Okay.
20 bags in a row. He's going to throw a perfect game. AJ Sims.
Wow, perfect. Okay, are they going to beat Holland and Rawls in the finals?
Yeah, he picked him for everything.
Yep,
yeah,
they're going to win. And Sims is going to throw 20 bags. He's going to throw a perfect game.
All right, I'm going open. I'm going to pick Ryan Smith, Ryan Wiedenfeld to win open number 15. So let's go, boys. Ryan coming off a hot weekend. I don't know what the competition's like in Nebraska, but he did it. So congratulations. All right, that's all we got time for. We'll see you all in Milwaukee. We got lots of broadcasts and live streams and things to look forward to. So we'll see you there.